We were asking the guys if you've changed now in your third year, and they said, nope, still ball energy, nothing's changed.
Not much has changed. I've cut down on my coffee quite a bit, though. And I've looked like I'm 50. I'm not in my 40s anymore. But no, it's been a great summer. I hope everyone's had a great summer. It's been fast and furious. A summer like no other. I think just the combination of all the rule changes with the one-time transfer and et cetera, and things getting pushed back. And then, of course, we had an amazing experience in Spain with our team. And, you know, the NCAA allows men's and women's basketball teams to, once every 4 years, take a foreign trip. And I could talk all day, but you guys don't have all day. So it was an amazing experience, though, in so many ways for our guys just to experience the culture over there in Barcelona and in San Sebastian and in Madrid. And I do got to throw this in there. I've asked our guys, like, what was your favorite part? You know, like the catamaran ride or the tour of Barcelona, the Gothic town, or going to the is it FC Barcelona?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not, my daughter plays soccer. I like to say FB Barcelona, but it's FC. And they consistently say San Sebastian. And I'm like, well, what about San Sebastian? Everything, just San Sebastian. So I think it was the beaches, the food. It's very quaint, super clean. And it was good basketball. It was super cool for our guys. You know, I've been doing this a long time. I think we only had two of our American players that had ever been out of the country. So to be able to experience something like that was super cool. And then 2 of our 4 games, we got to play 4 games over there. 2 of them, we had a bunch of people. 1 game had about 150. The other place was sold out. And when I say sold out, it was like a high schooler gym, but it was really cool. Jerry, one of our true freshmen from Taiwan who played at Wasatch Academy, we were trying to get him a shot because everybody had scored. And I think it was like 0 for 6. We were just feeding him the ball, you know, running plays like, you know, he's LeBron or Jordan or something. And he finally threw up about a 23-footer with about 5 seconds to go, and he swished it. Horn goes off, and they stormed the court.
Oh, my.
It was super cool. So anyway, that was a great experience for our guys. And now we're back to reality, and we've had a good preseason. And we're super excited to get rolling with this team. And, of course, we have 6 weeks to go. But it seems to be a group that really has an attitude that craves improvement. We look a lot different. We're opening up practice, obviously, for you guys. Stay as long as you want. John Vu didn't put any restrictions on you guys, so you're in good shape. But I think you'll see we just look a lot different this year in every way, shape, and form than we did the last 2 years, and I think that's a real positive.
Have you gotten any word about Davon yet?
No word on Davon. Davon, you know, 2-time transfer. Davon Smith, obviously, right? Started his career at Mississippi State, 1 year during the COVID year, then 2 years at Georgia Tech. And you know, that's hard. It's hard on him, of course. It's hard on everybody, but it's especially hard on him. You just don't know, right? You just don't know. Am I going to be able to play? Am I not? But he's handled it well. He's handled it as a professional. But I know there's tough days, certainly. But there's been some great days. He definitely brings a different element to our team, which you'll see with his speed and athleticism. He's a lot better at some things than I thought, and he has some things he's got to tighten up, just like all of our guys. But like we told him during the recruiting process, like, listen, you hope for the best, expect the worst. Like, your mindset's got to be a certain way, but just know from our standpoint, like, obviously we want you to be able to get a waiver, but at the same time, if you don't get the waiver, we want you, right? We can develop you. We can help you. The red shirt thing isn't a bad thing. Now it's almost like not even talked about anymore. All right, but it's a real thing, and I've seen the positive benefits with so many players over the years that I've coached. So we don't know. We don't have a hint of what's going to happen. It's just part of it. So, you know, when that date comes, we'll make sure we announce it right away and go from there.
What was your reaction when Brandon decided to come back? I bet you're probably more excited than anybody. And you have his wife to thank, right, for being in law school.
Yes, Maddie definitely helped. But, you know, BC, we were ecstatic as an entire staff, of course. I mean, my vertical jump improved about 2 inches that week. And that's saying something, guys. But in all seriousness, you know, I just think so highly of that young man, and not, like, we all know his accolades, right? I mean, a local kid, but the accolades, a 2-time All Pac-12 player, it's hard to do. It's incredibly hard to do. Cracked his 1,000th point last year. And then when you just see the progression, like, people forget, I said this to a group last February and then multiple times over the summer, just his progression as a player in every way, shape, and form. That guy made 3 threes as a freshman, right? As a sophomore, he made 10. As a junior, he made a lot more. Percentage wasn't quite where we wanted it to be, but it was still a lot, and that's tough on a team that wasn't very good when you're a marked man. And then last year, and he kind of, a couple of those games, especially when Raleigh got hurt, his numbers kind of, and everybody was just loading up on him. Gabe was hurt, Raleigh's hurt, so his numbers dipped a little bit late, but still he had the most threes made for a center in the country. But it's not only that, just his maturity and the way he uses his voice. And so, and then you add to the end, that dude loves this place. And I have so much conviction with this. I get goosebumps talking about it because it's true. This guy just loves the running Utes. He has so much pride in this program, and it's ironic we're in Legacy Hall, and you have all the legends here, and coming off of the homecoming where Hano got inducted, and you have Michael Doliak, and we had the Doliak stance going. I called it the Doliak stance when we were at Mayville, and that's true. I told him that. It was pretty cool. On a side note, we go into the weight room, and we had a recruit. We had 3 recruits unofficially on Thursday, a couple more over the weekend. Walk into the weight room with a guy a high school kid that's very familiar with the running Utes, and I'm like, our guys are lifting, and I'm like, who are the skyscrapers? Like, they looked like Olajuwon and Samson back there, and it was Hano and Doliak, and I mean, they still look like they can go get 25 on it, anybody. So, but I just, BC, and then going through that process, you guys, was so good for Brandon. And over the years, we've had a couple guys go through this, Nimish Keita, Sam Merrill, right, at Utah State, and guys that have gone through it. It's been so beneficial for them. I think they learn a lot about themselves. They grow in confidence. They get to go through these workouts with, the Milwaukee Bucks and Sacramento King, whoever, and they learn a lot about themselves and their game, and they get feedback. And some people want to look the other way when you get feedback. Brandon wants to learn. Brandon wants to be coached. And I just think it helped him so much in so many different ways. And his voice, his leadership is at an all-time high, which you expect out of a fifth-year guy, right? But I'm just so proud of him. And we're doing a lot of different things with him this year. And he just keeps climbing the ladder and getting better and better. So, yes, we were ecstatic when he decided to come back. But, of course, we always want what's best for them, and it's their career and their decision. And we're going to support our guys no matter what.
Since going through that process, a lot of the talk has been playing Brandon.
I like your haircut.
I just got it this morning.
See, I recognize that. I haven't seen you for a long time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But Brandon, a lot of the talk has been playing him at the 4. How have you seen his kind of adjustment to that spot?
Yeah, we're certainly going to move him around. I think that's the thing that you'll see with our team is we just have way, way more versatility with our team, and certainly a big part of that's because of Brandon. Just the way he's been able to shoot it now. One thing, with certain guys, you kind of, when they shoot a shot, you kind of hope it goes in, and then there's other guys you expect it to go in, but you're not shot, and then there's other guys you're surprised when they miss, right? And Brandon's gotten to that point. And so with his positional versatility on the offensive end, we always knew he could do that, especially probably halfway through our first year. But there's a lot to learn on the defensive end, and we've had many talks over the years, or last couple of years, of the idea of playing him at the 4. We're still going to play him at the 5, but playing him at the 4. But there's a lot to learn. Like Brandon said, Brandon will be the first to tell you, listen, coach, is it something I want to do? Yes. Is it something I feel super confident in? Well, I've been a 5 my whole life. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to learn, and it's not as much on the offensive end. It's way more on the defensive end because, any NBA guy will tell you, any college coach will tell you, if you can't guard that position, it's really hard to play at that position. So, I think we'll, because of him and his grasp of it, and he certainly just keeps getting better. Even in our individual workouts yesterday, some of the stuff we were doing, it was very clear he's better at it today than he was just even 2 months ago when we were in Spain. And that's what we challenged our guys with. And I know I'm all over the map right now, but when we got done with Spain and our guys had 2 weeks to go home, it's like we told them, we still have 3.5 months before our first game. It's a long time to just keep climbing the ladder and getting better, and in BC's instance, he has.
You had some lulls on offense last year, especially late in the season when Gabe was out. How have you corrected that this year, or what have you brought in to allow maybe some growth there?
Well, we still got to prove it, but lulls might be an understatement. So it was hard. I saw somebody told me this. Urban Meyer said this when he was with the Utes, and then somebody told me it was on the Swamp Show or whatever. He did the whatever it was, and so like Urban Meyer said, supposedly when he first came to Utah, like, hey, our ones could play with anybody's ones, and I thought that wasn't necessarily the case in year one. I thought that was the case last year. Right, we beat Arizona. We played with and we were in the, according to Lenardi, we were in the tournament. But when we had those injuries, we just didn't have, what we needed to. The depth of our program, the experience in our program just wasn't there. And so obviously that was a huge focal point for our team. And you always got to self-reflect. How can I be better as a coach? How can I set our guys up better for success? What do we need on our roster? Certainly we need more frontline depth, which we got. Certainly we needed better shooting, consistent shooting. Like Gabe, you had to, and you still always have to account for Gabe Madsen, right? Because that guy, 28 or 27 against TCU really gave us a chance to, an opportunity to win that game. But you always got to account for him. You cannot leave him too far or he's going to make you pay. And so, but we need more guys like that. And BC's like that, of course, when you can stretch the defense. I can go right down, like Cole Bajema is an elite shooter. Ben Carlson has really improved in that facet. But we've definitely upgraded our shooting. So like, as a coach sometimes, and I'm sure as a fan, sometimes you feel like you got to run perfect offense to get a clean shot, and then it's just like, okay, are we going to make it or not? And now I think we have more depth and more weapons on the offensive end where even if things kind of break down or whatever, we just have more guys that can make a play, right? Whether it's make a 23-foot jumper, at the end of the clock, or hit, the open guy, and they just keep the game simpler. So that's called talent, right? And I think we have more talent. We have more experience. Experience matters. When you look around the country, when you look at the Final Four, how many of those teams were very veteran? Florida Atlantic, veteran group that was together for a long time, regardless of what league they're in. So everybody's in a race to get older, and we've certainly added more shooting and added more real experience. And then you had on top like the minutes that Will Exact got right last year. Like he, at the end of the year when we had those injuries, he was starting, those games, and I'm not sure he was totally ready, but it made him better, right? It made him better, and it's it's showing for us.
One more question.
How does the schedule set up for you guys to try and build momentum early in the season?
I hope well. Scheduling is one of the hardest jobs we have as a coaching staff, and it's a very diligent job. Tramel Barnes and myself do our scheduling. Obviously, Tramel kind of leads the way. We have some other people now helping. We have a bigger staff. I'm really excited about our new staff. But, I like it. We have 2 home games right out of the gate. And then when we scheduled the MTE, the Charleston Classic, on ESPN, which great exposure, great tournament. We're open with Wake Forest. If we can win that game, we're probably playing Houston, top 5 team, at worst top 10 team in the country. And then you still have LSU, St. John's with Rick Pitino, right? Dayton. It's a really good tournament, 3 games in 4 days. The hard part now with the conference moving, staying at 20 games, but moving all 20 games till after Christmas, we only have 11 games from November 6th to December 29th. Like that's not much, and it's 3 games in 4 days. So then it's really, spread out. So there's gonna be a lot of practice time, and our guys gotta be able to handle that in the right way, because once you get to January and February, you're gonna have practice time, but it's gonna be a lot different looking that way. And then of course we have St. Mary's on the road. That'll be another quad 1 game, which we're excited about. St. Mary's has been so good the last, 2-3 years, NCAA tournament team, top 25 team, and that's a home and home. They'll come back to our place. I bet we've had, I don't know if it's been announced our last game or not, John, it has not. We've had about 6 yeses, and then, a week later, oh, no, we can't do it. So we finally think we have one set in stone here. It's just we're waiting for a couple more signatures. But I think our schedule is set up well. I do think the Pac-12 is going to be much better. I do. When you just look up, it would be different, but I think you're going to say that every single year from here on out, how different the league is with just guys going NBA, guys, right, transferring, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's going to be good from that respect. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we finished the year with 5 of our last 7 on the road, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I should have never even said it. But listen, at the end of the day, I think the league's better. I think we're set up for success in non-conference. Got to take care of business. You got to win, and our whole league needs to win, right? You got to earn that respect that way. So we're all in a position. I don't care if you're projected number 1 or projected number 12. Got to do it, but we got to take care of our business, and I like the way our schedule is set up for that.
Thanks, Ray.
Hey, one more thing. I'm sure some of you guys saw or heard, like Kara is no longer with our team. I can't get into details with it just to protect his privacy. Just kind of one of those deals. And so I wish I could elaborate more and just talk about it, but I just can't to protect him. So just wanted to make sure that was clear and out there.